Hannah Kessler.
This gal started her own bank at the age of 18, and then you became a self-made millionaire by the age of 24?
I did.
Hannah Kessler is a money mentor.
She's known as the single millionaire chick.
With advice on how to stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Money
Starts with your mindset.
How you think about your money is going to greatly impact how much money that you have.
I grew up in a town called Olathe, Kansas. I'd be walking out of the door, going to school, and my mama would holler at me, "Hannah, make good choices." And I'd have to holler back, "Because the choices I make today will affect my future."
My parents, they did a very good job about teaching me as a child how to handle my money. We have a lack of understanding when it comes to money.
If you want your kids to have money, you need to start talking to them about it while they're young.
I'm really second generation to this concept that's called the infinite banking concept.
And at 18 years old, my dad gave me the choice to start my own bank that then led me to becoming a millionaire by the time I was 24.
Now you've written a book to help tie it all together.
So the companion is really just teaching kids that, not specifically money, but really important life lessons.
Now being the owner of the Money Multiplier, I help serve over 17,000 clients in every state of the country.
Where can people get the book?
HannahKessler.com. Hannah spelled the same way forwards and backwards, Kessler with one S.
Also, I got my podcast show, the Money Multiplier Podcast.
And make good choices today, because the choices you make today will affect your future. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, y'all. Hey, I got some fun little topics I'm going to be talking about next week. There is something that happened within my family just yesterday. Okay, so coming up next week or maybe even the week after, I'm going to share a quick little story. But just real quick, as people are coming in, Dexter, you're always on. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm up early. As I told y'all last week, I'm on Mountain Time. I love y'all because I'm up before the sun is even up. Okay. And Dave, I see you. Dave, I'm going to see you in a short few weeks out in Tampa. Lisa, you're up early this morning too, my California girl. Hey, and FYI, come and join us on Saturday morning for our Women's Mastermind Zoom meeting, okay? So I know it's going to be 6:30 your time on Saturday, but hey, come and join us, okay? All right, good morning, Annette. Good morning, Christian. Christian, I think is how I want to pronounce that. Thomas, good to see you. All right, y'all. Well, hey, I have a very special guest, all right, that's going to be joining us here today. I'm excited. I'm going to introduce y'all to Eddie Austin. Eddie is a seasoned serial entrepreneur. He's a real estate fund manager and mentor who has been in the real estate space since 2004. So he's overseen more than 100 million in development projects and has helped grow multiple Midwest-based ventures into companies generating over 200 million in annual revenue. So ever since 2020, he's managed 501. I always want to say 501c3s. That's my my donation side. But ever since 2020, he's managed 506c fund operations tied to real estate portfolio exceeding 315 million. And his mission is just all about helping people build lasting wealth and create financial freedom through real estate. So that's why we get along so well, because hey, we're all in the same boat together. So let me bring Mr. Eddie on.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
Good to see you on. Hey, so where are you at right now? Because I don't think you're home, right? Are you on the road traveling?
Yeah, I'm on the road traveling, headed down to Atlanta, Georgia to a CCC event. And we got a booth set up down there. So, I would honestly tell you these Zooms are great because you do meet a lot of people. But if you're not on Zoom and if you're not in in-person events, you're probably not going to find somebody that's going to change your life.
Straight up, dude. Preach it, brother.
So
well, good.
thanks for having me on this morning. It's beautiful to see good people in the room that's wanting to learn more and more. And, that became my mission years ago, to just continue to learn as much as I could, because it's what I didn't know that cost me the most. And a lot of things that I didn't know could be learned. And that's one of the biggest things today is I just want to educate and be educated myself. I enter every room with an empty glass.
Good. And that's the thing too. When you walk into those rooms, you start to change your perspective. I think when you start to go to events, it's always about me. What value can I get out of this? But when you start to walk into those rooms of what value can I add to other people, and leading with that mindset and that heart, I'm telling y'all, it's just game changer when it comes to your own personal development, your business development. And actually, I'm going to shout out Tess Hulak. I know she's probably not on this morning because she's at the annual Infinite Banking Think Tank. So a lot of our money mentors are out there in Birmingham this weekend doing that. I couldn't make it this year. This was the first year ever since, I want to say it was 2016, I started going. So I've been every year, but it just didn't work out in the schedule. I'm too far west to be in Birmingham right now.
I hear you.
So, hey, I want to ask you, because actually we were texting and I said, Eddie, what kind of topics you want to talk about? Right? Because we could go into so many different directions. And you were the one who said, hey, how about we talk about creating time freedom by finding out what is your freedom number? And I was like, oh my gosh, Eddie, that is exactly the same verbiage I use. What is my freedom number? And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to pass the microphone to you. But to me, my freedom number, obviously, right? It's like your passive income. People always say, hey, you want your passive income to rise and exceed your expenses. But in my opinion, I think it should even be double that. Okay, yeah, I want my passive income coming in to meet my expenses, but I also want some extra money so then I can go and do things, see life on the road, go and attend shows, go to little art festivals. That's just what I'm into. And so I always take my monthly expenses times 2, and that's my freedom number. So when you say freedom number, what does that actually mean in real life to you?
Let me start with, I believe I'm kind of the reverse engineer specialist in a way, because that's exactly how I reverse engineered my journey. And number one, I believe the greatest ability you have in life is your availability to the ones you love. And that means not working 60, 80 hours, 100 hours a week. And I believe that people should make as much money as you can in the shortest period of time. Like that's really the golden ticket. And passive income is definitely something that is absolutely needed to replace that, but it's sometimes not always where we start, right? So I think the first thing we have to do is we have to untie ourselves from the W-2. We have to untie ourselves, whether that's we invest in other things that give us the ability to leave that job, or whether that's we start a business and we create enough active income that we replace that monthly number. And from that, we can take that money and then invest it. So then you can double that number up. So you have your greatest ability, then you have your availability to the ones you love. And I know a lot of people that chase this dream for a long, long time. And it's sad because you see them work their entire life to get to, age 65, age 70, and then they retire. And then their quality of life is just not the same as if they would have retired at 30 or 40 or 50 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. And to that point, because I always think about, and now some people love their W-2. I talk to a lot of my nurses who are very passionate about what they do, my doctors, even my chiropractors, right? Because that was my father having 5 clinics in the Kansas City area, but he got to that point where he's like, I just don't want to go in every single day. Trust me, I love treating the patients, but every day, if I have to be there, I don't want to do it. I just want to wake up that morning and feel myself. What do I feel like doing today? Do I want to go treat some patients, or do I want to go and, I always make the joke, sit my butt on the boat this afternoon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And really the freedom to dictate and design that life that you want. And so here's my question for you. where do people start? If they're like, yes, I understand this idea of having this freedom for my life and that's what I want, but where do we even start with all of it?
So I think number one, and I think for anyone, you absolutely have to find what you're most passionate about, whether that be in a W-2 or whether that be in an entrepreneurship position, to really work at that as many hours as it have to get it off the ground. Because probably when you first start out, you're not going to make a whole bunch of money. And when you start out as an entrepreneur, you're not going to be profitable probably the first 2 years. So in that struggle, you might as well be working on something you're passionate about. And once you find that passion, it makes things a lot easier. And I think you got to remember why you're doing all this. You have to remember, hey, when things get tough, remind yourself, why is this important to me? And is it your family? Is it replacing your parents' income or retirement? Is it employing other people? Is it donating 50% of your wages? What's your why? Like, if you don't have your why out front, then that's really going to get bogged down, because things are going to get tough. Things are going to get hard. But when you do find those hard places, you can say, I remember now why I started doing this and why I'm still in this and why I'm going to keep going. And I think one of the best ways to really engineer this is use a whiteboard. Has anybody on this call ever used a whiteboard before?
And put it in the chat box, y'all.
Yeah, put it in the chat box if you've ever used a whiteboard before. I love whiteboards, and here's why. It's a visual tool. And you know, I started before I even had a whiteboard. I had a legal pad, and I wrote down every single expense I had, and then I added 20% to that. That's what I needed to replace my income. And from there, I got a whiteboard, and I'm like, okay, this is where I'm starting. I'm starting over here on the left-hand side of the board, and over here on the right, this is where I want to be. So what's the number? Is it $100,000 a year? Is it $120,000 in passive income? What is the number? Put a number to it, and then put a date. And if you do that, if you put a date and where you're starting from, everything in this middle, in this white space, this is the business plan. This is the exact steps that you're going to do. You know, whether that's you're going to use your self-directed, your Roth, and loan that money out for fix and flip people, short-term loans, and that's going to create your income. Whether you're going to buy a rental property and self-manage it, and that's going to create your income. You're just stacking these things up until you get to this ladder point that you can actually jump off and say, I've made it, I'm free. But it starts with the small principles of just putting it down on paper, transferring that into the whiteboard so it's there in front of you. You can look at it. You can say, oh my gosh, this isn't that hard, because you start breaking it down in bite-sized steps.
Yeah, yeah. Or as I always say too, you have to eat the elephant one bite at a time. You didn't get to this place overnight. It's not going to be overnight till you figure it all out too. And as I get older, because growing up is weird, let me tell you, being 26 years old, you learn more and more. And especially too, as you get older, you start to realize, okay, I really don't know everything as I thought I did when I was a teenager, right? And I want to ask you this too, because finding your passion for something, I think it really does shine through as well. I mean, I hope my people can even see that. I get those comments a lot. They say, yeah, and I can see that you're very, very passionate about the stuff that you teach. And I think it really comes from a feeling. I know it's kind of taboo to say that, if you will, or kind of spiritual, but it is. It's a feeling of when you are living your ultimate truth. You feel calm, you feel happy, you feel centered. And when you find that feeling, that's when you know that you're passionate about something. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I'm telling you what, there's been times I've worked at projects, I was awake 2 or 3 days, not because I was on drugs, because I couldn't go to sleep, because I was just so excited about the things I was doing.
Yeah. And I want to ask you too, how did your own understanding of your freedom number evolve as you've built out your businesses? I mean, obviously, probably it's changed, right? Because it's not going to be one direct path.
Yeah. And I had to pivot a few times. I mean, a little bit of backstory here. I started as a welder at 12 years old. I was learning the skilled trades because I thought the skilled trades business is what would save me, you know, make $100,000 a year. In the early ages, I thought, you know, well, if I make $100,000 a year, and if I work 80 hours a week. Everybody else is working 40 hours a week. I'll retire by 40. And that's not exactly how it works. You make more, you spend more, you pay more in taxes. But I told everybody from I was a little bitty boy, I was going to retire by 40 years old. I didn't know why that was important. But as it evolved, I knew I wanted to retire at 40 because I wanted to experience life.
Mhm.
And I ended up doing that at age 36. And it wasn't from staying in one path. Like you said, the freedom number changed. The direction kind of pivoted a few times, but I knew exactly what the outcome needed to be. So I wasn't afraid to pivot into something new. There was no fear. I kept my eye on the direction.
Yeah. And do people usually overestimate or underestimate what
Mm.
they actually need with their freedom number?
I think at first they underestimate in the very, very early beginnings, but in the back end of it, they overestimate. And they put all these different things in their way, all these little subconscious mind blocks and all these little subconscious roadblocks, and they just pile this wall up in front of them. And that's one of the biggest things I go to the whiteboard for is like, it's very simple. I'm sure everybody has a calculator on their phone anymore, have access to one on their laptop. And, I spoke at a conference here a couple of years ago, and they were asking about the freedom number. And people were asking about, what is not really your freedom number, but what's the money you want to make in a year? What's the money you want to make in a month? So the monthly number was going around the room. It was, 10,000, 12,000, 25,000. Well, I stood up and had the microphone and said $100 million a month. And everybody said, oh my gosh, like this guy's on drugs. He's crazy, And I had a guy walk up to me and he goes, $100 million a month? Like, are you crazy? And I said, it's just math. What does it take to make $100 million a month? It's selling a portfolio of companies to Wall Street for $1.2 billion. 1.2 billion divided by 12 is how much?
A lot. I
Crazy.
suck at mental math.
But at the end of the day, all you're doing is using simple plus, minus, divide, times. It's pretty simple. You can do this. You learn this in school, but the problem is another thing we learned in school is the traditional things that we're supposed to stick to. And what is that? It's get a job, go to college, get a degree, work that degree, love what you do, buy the house, live the American dream. And then at the end of the day, you're supposed to invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds. You're absolutely not supposed to be investing in yourself first.
Or whole life insurance, because whole life insurance is stupid, right?
Right. Exactly. So that's the thing is, I look at infinite banking as you're paying yourself first before the bank, right? That's kind of that concept. And you can use that money as your own bank, which is the coolest thing ever. So why aren't we doing that more? So when you ask the question, do people overestimate? Absolutely. But how do you stop that activity? Number one, when somebody says, oh, I can't do that, I always ask the question, who told you that? Well, I guess nobody. Why are you telling yourself that? Because I'm telling you, the easiest part is you first have to believe it here. That's all it takes. You got to believe it here up top first.
Yeah. No, beautiful. Hey, and actually two things that I'm kind of thinking of, and actually as my ADD goes off, I kind of forgot my first one, but my second one, Parkinson's law. I think it's a great segue into getting back to the foundational principles about our money and even like our time. And this is what Nelson Nash talks a lot about in his book, Becoming Your Own Banker, is Parkinson's law. He has a whole chapter dedicated to it. And this is where I agree with some of Dave Ramsey's teachings, okay? Because once was a luxury is now a necessity. You need to stay within your means. Don't go out overspending. Yeah, I could book that first class ticket, but do I really need to book a first class ticket if I'm just going to sit on an airplane for an hour and a half? That's probably not the best use of my money for that purchase. You know what I mean? And so it is important to even check yourself and make sure you do have those set rules that you are following for yourself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I just have like a whole bunch of like little questions here that I just wanted to ask you. For someone just starting out, where should they focus first? Should they focus on cash flow or should they focus on appreciation? What's your opinion?
I think it's always cash flow. You're always trying to double your money, you know, so we always call it the 2X hopper. So you're putting money in, if you can, a couple times a year, and you're 2Xing that money. And I get a lot of people, they're like, Eddie, well, I can't invest with you. Your minimum investment's $100,000 or $50,000. And I'm like, I understand that, but I've seen you get a new iPhone every time one comes out. But and you obviously believe in the brand, but here's the thing. I don't guess you believe in the brand well enough because you own none of Apple stock. So, I mean, let's be honest. I think if you bought every iPhone from the time they come out, you'd be at like, I don't know, $22,000 is what you would have invested in iPhones from the time they come out. If you bought one every year. If you invested that exact amount throughout the time, you'd be at about $322,000 of money. And all you did was you probably paid $1,000 for this and you put $1,000 in ownership. So you can start in small things, but I think you have to do both. Like there is a split because cash flow has a discipline attachment, because sometimes when we get cash flow, we get this entitlement of having more money. And then we end up spending that money or putting it somewhere else because we're young enough that we know we can start over.
Yeah.
But it's disciplined. So that's why I do believe that we should be investing in things that we can't so easily touch. So maybe that cash flow is a mechanism like reinvesting your dividends.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, I really follow like the Cardone family a lot. I just really like Elena, and I like Scarlett and Sabrina, their two kids. I think they're phenomenal kids, but they always talk about, hey, we do not spend our active money. We produce the active money. We use that active money to go buy ourselves those cash flowing assets, whether and invest in the things that you like, know, and understand, y'all. I mean, I say it all the time. I'm never going to tell you how to go make your money, how to invest the money. But if you want to have those buddy conversations, I'll turn you on to what I'm doing, what's working out for me over here. But take the active money, invest that into your cash flowing assets, then the cash flow from those assets or the passive income now, that's what you use to go buy the fun toys, the fun experiences within life. And I think if you really follow that disciplined mindset there, it is going to take you to that next level. But you just got to start. I mean, people think, oh, I can't do this because I don't have 50 grand. I don't have $100,000. Y'all, my first ever investment, I had a really good family. Dad comes to me and says, Hannah, instead of you just keeping your money inside of your policies, how about you give your money to me? I'll take your money. I'll pay you 10% interest on it. I'll pay you that interest every month. And then, you know, Dad, being the smart man that he is, he would take my money, then go put it into other lending deals where he's making no less than 15%. So he's kind of making money using my money too, right? But you know, you can start small, and I guess this is like a great kind of plug too. I know a lot of my community members, y'all are familiar with the Private Money Club. Okay, so privatemoneyclub.com. I call it the match.com between borrowers and lenders. And I mean, there's people on there where they're looking for $5 grand, 10 grand, $15,000, you know, and you can really use that and start creating some passive cash flow for yourself. So this is a perfect segue here. Okay, hold on. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Hannah Kessler with the Money Multiplier.
And I'm Larry Steinhaus, CEO of Investor Schooling.
Yeah, you are, man.
Yeah.
Last year, our VIPs got something special. We took them on a private tour of one of...
so cool.
It was cool. Of one of your investment properties.
That's right. It was my mobile home park.
Mobile home park. Over double-digit returns every single year. And for you, we're going to get deeper into how you even bought it, financed it, how you putting tenants in there.
And how cool is that? We didn't just do numbers, right? They saw the strategy in real life. to show how to deal with the structure, where the income came from, and how it all worked together.
And VIP access isn't just better seating, it's about being in the right room with the right people.
You know, there were some really cool conversations that went on in that VIP event, remember?
Yeah.
There was like people had problems, we had solutions for them. Yeah. I think there was at least 2 people who bought major properties right after that VIP event.
They did, and I know exactly who you're thinking of too.
Yep.
You guys need to be in the room. If you've been waiting for a sign, here's your sign. MoneyGameLive.com.
Always go VIP.
Thought that was important because Eddie, you're going to be joining us. You got some stage time coming up in Tampa. So what can people expect out of your talk in Tampa coming up?
Oh, they're going to learn so much. And what they're going to learn is how to use other people's money legally, whether that's through a syndication or fund, but what the defined difference is between using other people's money in a single asset class or using it in multiple assets in one, diversifying your portfolio with doing one LLC that you can sell membership interest to your investors.
Wow. No, very cool. Now, I'm going to be learning because, I mean, just even myself, I just do 100% lending right now, and it is killing me on the tax side, let me tell you.
Oh, gosh. I can't imagine.
We need to get the depreciation. I need to start learning other strategies to help me there, because it is, if you understand the tax code, I mean, you can really use it to your advantage. And so actually, I think this is a perfect segue into a question I wanted to ask you, because it's not a mistake. I don't think it's just a learning curve, because I have cash flow coming in every month now, but then you get the IRS bill and you're like, holy crap, I got a little problem here. Right. So what mistakes do you see new investors making when they're chasing financial independence?
Not taking the time to properly educate themselves or evaluate certain opportunities. So a little segue around that question, doctors, lawyers, physicians, they are so busy. They get taxed out of this world. They're fortunate to make a lot of money. And the issue that I see is sometimes we give them, including myself, we give them really, really good opportunities to remove their earned income tax liability. And sometimes they are just so busy with everything they're doing, they can't take the time. As you said it best, don't invest in anything you don't understand. And you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. You should understand it. And whoever your sponsor, whoever is offering that investment opportunity to you, they should be able to spend the time with you to educate you on exactly how your money will be put to work and what's going to happen to it, and how you should talk to your CPA about what you're investing in. And I see a lot of people, they miss every shot because they don't take the investment, they don't take the shot, and because they just won't simply take the time. And guys, this is another reason why getting your time back is so important, because Hannah talked about going to work when you want to, seeing as many patients as you want to. I'm not saying don't work, don't do that. But what I'm saying is only do it because you love doing it, not because you have to do it. And that is the biggest difference once you get enough passive income, because you no longer have to go to work 80 hours a week as an RN to make your money, to pay all the bills you have. You can go part-time, you could go just a few days a week and still work your 40 hours, because your shifts are tall. But at the end of the day, you have time to evaluate other opportunities. So that's the biggest thing I see people miss, is they just won't take the time to either want to invest in themselves or evaluate an opportunity to invest in.
Yeah. And it's funny because I call it, my father always gets on people's butts sometimes. I call it him turning on his big daddy voice. He says, you don't got to love me. All right. I don't expect you to invite me to your Christmas parties or your Thanksgiving dinner or send me a birthday card, but I'm here to be effective in your financial life. And hey, Mary Sue, I see you every night turning on The Bachelor or watching American Idol or America's Got Talent. You have the time. You just won't prioritize what's actually important. So you tell me that this is important to you, but your actions are over here speaking some other words. And you just got to get real with yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just be honest with yourself. And yeah, it might be a little uncomfortable and you might have to go through these little changes. And it's actually making me think about I saw this Facebook post not too long ago where it says, hey, if you feel like your life is falling apart, just know that it has to fall apart in order for you to get to that next level. You can't carry your old life into this new life that you're trying to create and control for yourself. So it's okay. Some things are going to have to get left in the past, whether that's people, how you spend your time, what you're doing. Because if you want it bad enough, you will make it happen. Or like for me, being a single girl over here, right? In the dating world, there's that one quote that they always say, if he wanted to, he would. You know what I mean?
Yep, of course. Yeah, you're right.
So let me ask you this. What's something you wish somebody had told you earlier about building time freedom?
Man, that's such a good one. I think I'm going to have to go with some people are already where you want to be. Figure out how to go have coffee with them, buy them lunch, or how do you extract their lessons, because they have an exponential ability to accelerate your journey if you just listen to somebody that's already been there. Yeah. So hire the mentor, invest in yourself, get on the podcast, get on YouTube, find the avatar, find the person that you want to be, and now detach by the time you get to a certain place. Because there was a time, all I wanted to do was beat Grant Cardone. I just wanted to be the better version of the Grant Cardone. Well, if I do that, I will end up being a lot like a Grant Cardone instead of the greatest Eddie Austin in the world that could be that.
We already have a Grant Cardone. You got to be you.
Exactly. So don't exactly mirror your mentor to a place that you are becoming who they are, because what you want is your true identity. And I would ask you, this is something I learned much later in life, and I think it's a very important lesson, is what is your identity? And a lot of people will tell you, oh, I'm a nurse, I'm a lawyer, that's my identity. No, that's a zero-sum game.
Yep.
That's not your identity. Who are you as a person? How do you want to be remembered?
Yep. Hey, you made me think about something else. I have a lot of friends that will send memes back and forth on Instagram, but I saw this not too long ago, okay? People change their lives more after travel than after therapy. And I think it's so true. Okay, so it says researchers noticed a strange pattern. Major life shifts often happen not after years of therapy, but after a single strong travel experience. People come back from a trip and suddenly quit jobs, they end relationships, they change cities, or finally start something they have postponed for years, because travel breaks this illusion that your current life is the only possible one. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I've gone to therapy, I've done stuff like that, right? But I think that's why I have such a strong passion about travel, because you meet other people, you see their mindsets, you hear about their stories, and you learn more about yourself. And yeah, it's kind of funny because yes, we're here talking about investing, talking about making money, which in my opinion is very important to live your life how you want, create the freedom. But if y'all really don't know where to start, yeah, you could, I guess, go talk to a therapist. But here's my biggest thing: just get out on the road and just go travel, y'all. I mean, seriously. And Eddie, like, because you travel a lot, would you say? I mean, how many events are you going to, and what are you over there doing?
I mean, the rest of this month, I'm literally home 3 days. So there's 3 days every single week. The other, I'm going to events. The first half of the year is all events. And then at that point, we're deploying capital and we're stewarding projects that we're investing in and things we're doing. So the first part of it is we're just out here in the world, meeting new people. I mean, we have an email list of over 15,400 people that we actively email every day. I've got well over, I think combined, over 20,000 followers on social media platforms. Very active on all those. I do podcasting. I do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it's the human experience of meeting someone new that really changes life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've literally walked into conferences before and I want to hear somebody's origin story. And we start talking, and suddenly it's not long that there's big groups gathered around me, and it's just a really cool thing to see all these people have come together to either want to learn or listen, or I want to hear their story. And before you know it, people start bringing people to me because they have this very compelling story that I would love to hear, and vice versa. Like people are, hey, you got to go meet this person over here, because they're going through a different place in life, and you might meet somebody that's ahead of you or behind you, and both of you can connect together.
Yeah.
Some way, some capacity. So you can either partner or trade ideas. There's so many ways that you can do things today, but like I said in the beginning, you got to get out of your office. Like you got to get out here in the world.
As my mentor says, the world's happening out there. It's not in your hotel room. It's not in the bedroom or your office of your house. The world's happening out there. So get outside, go meet people.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I love books. I tear up books all the time, reading them and listening to them. And a woman had sat down next to me. She's obviously traveling, and she was reading a book that I hadn't seen before. And I had asked her, I said, hey, what's that book? It was The Mindful Millionaire. So put it in the chat. Has anybody ever read The Mindful Millionaire? I'd love to know what you thought of that book. Like I just finished The Millionaire Mind, and I just finished my book. It's coming out the 20th. Okay. So, you know, that's the thing is there was one time all I've been as a consumer, right? Also, all I did was consume. Well, it was time to actually make an asset to put out in the world. And I think that is something else that a lot of people do forget is they consume, but they never become an owner of an asset. And when that happens, you're missing so much opportunity. Like you have to end up being an owner of assets. That assets make you money. Liabilities cost you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never heard of that, but I mean, maybe I have, but I haven't read it. And so thank you. I'll order it on Amazon or even Audible. I've been loving Audible on the road too. Hey, tell me, I didn't even know that, man. So you have a book coming out. What's it about? How can people find it? Welded to Wealth. I love it.
So that's the journey from a 12-year-old young boy, you know, starting out and all the fail points. It's just been an incredible journey, and I've been called for about 5 years to finish this book. And I'll be honest, it took my daughter, my 18-year-old daughter, finishing a book before me and getting my instructions on how to self-publish, because she know that old dad had talked to about anybody that would listen about how to publish a book. It was going to cost like 10 to 20 grand. And I wouldn't settle for that. I'm like, there's got to be a cheaper way. And the reason I wanted to find a cheaper way is I know not everybody has the money to pay a $10,000 or $20,000 check to publish a book, but they have an amazing story. And what I want to inspire people to do, the same as I'm inspiring people in this book, is there's a way. If you don't have the money, there's a way. Like you said, if you can't afford the 50 to 100,000, there's a way. Figure it out. So, you know, I self-published this book. It cost me absolutely nothing, really, to publish it. So it can happen. So I wanted to do that, not by paying somebody $10,000. So I gave my daughter all the notes, and next thing I know, she walks in holding her book, and I'm like, holy cow, kid, like you did it. And she's like, yeah, I did it. It wasn't that hard. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. So I spent the last 2 weeks of the year taking a 5-year journey and finally closing the door on that journey and finishing this book.
And will it be available on Amazon?
On Amazon on the 20th.
Okay, on the 20th.
So
I'm also
go to Welded to Wealth
mm-hmm.
at weldedtowealth.com, and you can sign up for the early. You can actually help me launch the book, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Weldedtowealth.com. And then, hey, y'all, I also have Eddie's contact info on the screen. Okay. So you have his email, invest@JECapitalINV.com. And then his phone number is up there. And sorry, Eddie, if that's your cell, but I'm putting it up
No,
there.
that's fine. That's fine.
So it's 812-619-6115. Because, hey, reminder, y'all, that this also goes out as a podcast. If you just go search Money Mornings with Hannah on your podcasting platforms, or you can watch the replays on YouTube, my personal channel, Hannah Kessler, or the Money Multiplier channel. But seriously, Eddie, I mean, I think you're just a very cool gentleman. And okay, we met at Dr. Kyle's event in Indianapolis, right? Is that how we met?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm telling y'all, you just got to get out there. Come and see us in Tampa. Okay. I'm telling you, it's going to be very, very cool. A lot of people coming out. I know we mentioned Eddie's going to be speaking, sharing his knowledge. We got tax strategy out, velocity banking. Y'all saw Anthony Rushings not too long ago. Isabel Garino, Dan Zatoski, obviously Larry Steinhaus will be there too. Eddie, if people want to invest with you, should they schedule a call with you? What's your feedback for people who want to get involved in what you're doing?
You know, I think the first thing for anybody, you can certainly do this. You can type in on Google, you can type in hashtag Eddie Austin BEX. And just type in hashtag Eddie Austin BEX, hit search. Don't pay attention to the color code, but you'll find out a ton of information about me. I'm very searchable. Eddie Austin BEX on all platforms, EddieAustinBEX.com. And the reason I say this is there is so many people out here that do offer investments, but they're not searchable. And I think that the relationship has to happen first. 100%. So absolutely. Call me, text me on this number, go visit our website. There's plenty of things that you can educate yourself on our website, but let's build the relationship first. And here's the thing, guys, is I don't have to do that. We do a 506C. I could meet somebody on the street and give them my investment. I could put it on a billboard and somebody could call me and they can invest. But for me personally, I could care less about the transaction. What I want to know is what is your needs, Hannah? Like, what are you trying to really fix? Is it you pay too much taxes? Okay, well, I'm either going to tell you one, I have an opportunity to help you with that, or I'm going to refer you to somebody that can help you with that. Like, I don't just want your money. I want to help you. I want to empower investments to be impactful for the ones that have fit, not for the ones that just, oh yeah, I'm just here to take money in. That's not us. I think that more people should do that and steward better, because I think we're all chasing something and nobody's crazy. So let's make sure that we're doing the right thing with our money. So don't just invest because you want to invest because you're solving a problem.
That's it. And reminder, so Eddie's contact is up there on the screen. If you want to come and see us at Money Game Live, all right, so go to moneygamelive.com. If you use the promo code TMM Special, gets you 30% off, or reach out to me. If you reach out to me and you answer this question, when did myself start her first policy? And I'm open to giving out some complimentary tickets. Okay, so send me an email or shoot me a text message. Here's my email address. So again, some complimentary tickets if you want to come join us. Answer the question of when did Hannah start her first policy? Okay. Also, Eddie, I had no idea that your daughter was 18 years old. So we need to connect at some point. Okay, because I'm not too far behind you. Okay?
Well, for everybody listening here, look, guys, you've got to come to the Money Multiplier, and let me tell you why. There's an incredible speaker lineup, and I'm not going to tell you anything that I can't control, but what I can tell you I can control is what you're going to learn in my 35 to 40 minutes on stage, or whatever that I'm allotted. You're going to learn things that are going to blow your mind. You probably believe that owning apartment buildings and owning commercial properties is reserved for the rich and famous.
Yeah.
It's not everyday people. I've been involved in over 3,000 doors of multifamily. I'm an everyday person. I started with nothing. There was a point in my life that I was negative $600,000, a homeless person with worth more than $600,000, more than me. I've never filed bankruptcy, and I've never lost an investor's dollar. And I don't tell you that to brag. I tell you that because I've been through some things.
Yeah.
But you can do this, and everyday people do this. So what you're going to learn during my speech is exactly that. So get your butts to the money games and go there and learn something. Find people in the room, connect with people in that room, because I'm here to tell you, you're going to learn something that will literally make you millions of dollars if you execute. What I'm going to teach you, you're going to, if you just ask questions, you're going to learn. And you're going to learn a method that everybody uses, the exact same method that Grant Cardone uses. I'm going to break it down for you in simple steps.
Good, man. Good. So again, just a reminder, when did Hannah start her first policy? If you send me an email, get it right. I will give out some complimentary tickets. And then also, if you want to come VIP, I only have 2 more slots for VIP, y'all. So if you've been waiting, you got to sign up now. The code for that is TMM special, and that'll get you 30% off of that. But anything else? I mean, any closing thoughts right now, Mr. Eddie?
You know, my closing thoughts are this. There's so many things that we could pay attention to in this world. You know, a lot of people doom scroll. They do a lot of things that are very damaging to the mind. And what I would ask any listener today, either listening live or listening here in the future, is take control. Take control of your discipline. Take control of the things you consume. Because when life spins out of control, so I've drove race cars. Anything with wheels on it I could race, I've drove it, and I've raced it sometimes even professionally. And when you spin out, if you pay attention to what you fear the most, you're going to impact. You're going to go straight into it, and that's most likely the wall. So the reason I tell you that is you have to keep your eye on the direction you want to go. So if that's the direction you want to go, then stop doing everything else that's not going to get you to where you want to go.
Damn
Like,
right.
just start being intentional. And one of the things that I would tell you is if you can't make it to this event, then make it to a future event. And if you can change some things around, come to this event. I'm telling you, you're going to meet people that will change your life. It takes one person that you meet that could change your life forever. So come to Money Games, come meet us and join us in this room, because I'm here to tell you, you're going to meet somebody that will change your life. You just got to be intentional. So stop scrolling past the ad you might see or the email and take action.
Because you are in control of your own life. And as my mama always says, the choices you make today will affect your future. All right, y'all, I will be back next Thursday, okay? Next Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, we'll go live again. Also, podcast goes out every Tuesday, the Money Multiplier podcast. And just reach out to me, whatever I can do to help and serve you. Eddie, I appreciate you being on, man. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and safe travels on the road.
You too. See ya.